Firstly, let's look at the issues that you have and why you've instigated this at a time, of course, where we've never seen an Apex bank being probed. Why the investigation? Why have you instigated this?
I'm sorry, I'm not getting you. I apologize.
What basically is the reason that you're looking to probe the CBN right now? What's the rationale behind that? What is the big issue?
Okay. The Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is not probing the Central Bank of Nigeria at all. Now, there is in existence the law that established the Central Bank of Nigeria. And there is also in existence, it came up later, the Fiscal Responsibility Act, which provides that all the agencies listed in the Fiscal Responsibility Act must submit their budget to the National Assembly. Now, I am the sponsor of the bill that seeks to amend the Central Bank of Nigeria Act. And the essence and crux of the amendment is to ensure that the Act of the Central Bank of Nigeria complies with the provisions of the Fiscal Responsibility Act, which requires that all the agencies, 31 of them, including the NNPC and all other agencies, should submit their budgets to the National Assembly to be approved. Incidentally, the Act of the Central Bank was made and approved about 5 or 6 months before the Fiscal Responsibility Act. So when the Fiscal Responsibility Act came into effect, the Central Bank of Nigeria still relies on the provision of the Central Bank of Nigeria Act, which was made earlier in time than the Fiscal Responsibility Act, which requires them to send their budget to the National Assembly. The Central Bank Act authorizes the Central Bank, the board of the Central Bank, to approve its budget. But that is a law that came earlier, but a new law says they should submit it to the National Assembly. Now, what we've done and what I have done, which the Senate has approved, by way of passing it through second reading and committing it to be heard by the Joint Committee of Banking and Currency and Judiciary, is to say that, look, let us go and let the public make presentations and let the Central Bank make presentations as to the position of the law. But I make it clear, very clear, that the Senate has no cause to probe the Central Bank of Nigeria. We are simply amending the law that establishes the Central Bank of Nigeria. It is we that made the law. And so we want to amend it to make it comply with the Fiscal Responsibility Act. And we think that the Central Bank of Nigeria should be, conduct itself within.
Senator, what instigated this?
Am I with you?
Yes, I am following you here, and thanks for clarifying that. But what instigated this right now? Has there been any misappropriation of funds, misuse of funds, or just really harmonizing laws that you have right now?
No, we have not made any allegation of misuse of funds, no. But we're saying that we are the legislature. We made the law establishing the central bank. We gave them the power to get their budget approved by their board. Later, we agreed that in view of the provision of Section 162 of the Constitution, which makes, and the other enabling laws in that behalf, which allows the National Assembly to budget for all agencies, to make sure that for every expenditure of every agency and for every income of every agency, for the purpose of taxation and for the public purpose of fiscal responsibility and accountability, the National Assembly should see and know what you are spending and on what you are spending. Then all the agencies should should make their budget available to the National Assembly to be considered and approved. Therefore, we are simply exercising the power because we consider that from the response of the central bank that they are entitled under the Act. It means that we did not specifically, when we made the Fiscal Responsibility Act, we did not specifically say that we have repealed or amended consequentially the provisions of the Central Bank Act, deleting that Section 6, which allows their board to approve budget for them. But in fact, The intendment of the legislature was that
Yep.
they will submit their budget to the board will then consider it and approve it for the purpose of it being forwarded to the National Assembly. But it does appear that the interpretation that the bank has and gives is that when the board approves, it has approved it in finality and for the purpose of execution. Now, after this, some persons also believe that there are certain functions which the central bank is exercising now, which are powers and functions which should be exercised by the commercial banks. For instance, we're providing some functions and fundings and action in agricultural sector. That's number one. And there is also a law we made creating the Asset Management Corporation. Now, there is supposed to be funding provided by the Central Bank of Nigeria to the Asset Management Corporation. Asset Management Corporation in Nigeria manages the assets of failed banks or any failed institution. Now, if the central bank is providing money, funding to the Asset Management Corporation, the legislature is supposed to know and is supposed to have approved how much money you are making available to the Asset Management Corporation. How will where is the money from? How will the Asset Management Corporation pay back the money to the Central Bank of Nigeria for the purpose of it funding other things? There are also issues of corporate social responsibility. The legislature is supposed to know how much the Central Bank is having yearly to exercise its corporate social responsibility functions, and whether what it is doing in the exercise of its corporate social responsibility functions is in accord with the budget. We are also conscious
Senator,
that the legislature...
Senator, unfortunately, we've run out of time there, but you have raised a few issues that, of course, you need to get clarity on, and, of course, putting that bill forward to amend the CBN Act and providing your stance on that. Thank you so much for joining us today, Senator. Senator Ita Enang, the chairman of the House of Business Committee on Business Rules in Nigeria.